Hi, everyone. Hi, Alan.
Hi, Miss Letty.
Hi, Nieves.
Hello, Miss Letty.
And hi, little bossy boots. That's you, Annie. And she frozen. Miss Bossy Boots there. Right, she did. She frozen. Hello, Miss Bossy Boots. She's still there, not saying anything.
The picture is frozen or something has gone wrong.
Yeah, I'm back.
Yes, of course you're back. Right, everyone, we are continuing the subject of nightmare holiday, and this is number 4, and it's let's see, I can't remember what it's about really. So here we go. So as we see, there is a reading, right? There's a reading, and I will say stop and the next person to read, and there are 2 words you have to choose from. Can you see in brackets, there are 2 words to choose from. Yes, in the first one, it's called lacked and worn, right? So you will read the sentence and only say one of the words which is appropriate for that space. Alan, are we okay about that?
Yes, I'm all ready, yes.
Let's Miss Bossy Boots go first. Annie, you can start.
Could you make it bigger?
Oh dear, let's see if I make it bigger and it takes up the whole screen. Can you still see it?
Yes, awesome. So, should I go first?
Yes, you're Miss Bossy Boots, you can go first.
We were jet lagged before we arrived in Spain.
Now, would you be able to tell people what that means, jet lagged?
As far as I know, jet lag means when you get tired after flight, long flight. Yeah.
Right. So after a long flight, this is how we feel. No? Right. Continue a little bit more.
We had made a number of unscheduled, or I don't know, turnovers on our way there and all in. I don't know if it's right or wrong.
It's wrong.
Oh.
So go back again and put the other word in.
Okay. We had made a number of unscheduled stopovers on our way there, and all in total, our journey took 36 hours.
Right. So let's break this up. Unscheduled means they weren't planned, right? And we have to learn this word because sometimes I forget as well. Stopover is to stop in a place en route when you are flying. So maybe I'm going to Turkey and I do a stopover in Belgium and then I go on to Turkey. So on our way there, and all in all, our journey took 36 hours. Right? So all in all is an expression that goes together.
All in
right?
all.
All in all. So it means total, but it's another way of saying it, right? Okay. So we had made a number of unscheduled stopovers on our way there. And all in all, our journey took 36 hours. Right, very good. Alan, is it possible for you to continue?
Yeah, the pictures are taking up some of the script, so I don't know what the ends are.
Right, I'll move you about. Smaller, yeah.
So that I can see the whole text.
Right. Hardly.
Okay. Hardly a direct flight. It was, I can't see the words, it's cut off. Can you make the text smaller?
But do you know what it is? I helped Annie make it very big, and maybe now it's better like that for you.
Oh, yes, that's better. Yes, that's right. My eyes are not that bad. Hardly an express flight. It would have been quicker had we walked.
Right, I like the word, sorry to interrupt you, I'm sorry, that's my fault. I would prefer direct. Try it with direct.
Yes, okay. No, well, you're right. If it's been unscheduled and stopped off at different places, it's not direct, of course. Yes, that's right. So hardly a direct flight. Is that what we're saying?
Yes.
It would have been quicker had we walked, bearing in mind that this was high season. We probably should have been suspicious of being the only passengers, but it wasn't until we actually touched down at the airport that we began to wonder why we had believed what had been written in the brochure.
Now, here, Alan chose touch because here we have a preposition which makes it phrasal. So touchdown means the same as landed. But if you use landed, you would not use down.
That's right.
Right? So you do elimination. So let me see. Let's go one more time. We were jet lagged before we arrived in Spain. We had made a number of unscheduled stopovers on our way there. And all in all, our journey took 36 hours. Hardly a direct flight. It would have been quicker had we walked. Bearing in mind that this was high season, we probably should have been suspicious at being the only passengers. But it wasn't until we actually touched down at the airport that we began to wonder why we had believed what had been written in the brochure. So sometimes a brochure is a very small booklet that advertises something. So I think they have been tricked into something that isn't true. And there were no passengers there because nobody else wanted to have this horrible journey. So this is why it's called a nightmare holiday, sorry. Right, Nieves, can you see that, or I need to make it bigger?
I can see, just need to move my screen here. Yeah.
Right, okay, let's see if you know the answers to this one.
Okay, the airport building was the site of a garden shed, and the custom officer who searched our bags and who for no reason confiscated our belongings also turned out to be the Iceland only taxi driver and ported at the Bay Hotel.
Right, so we'll stop there for a minute. Okay, so the nightmare is continuing, right? So they arrive at the airport and the building was the size of a garden shed. A garden shed is very small and it normally has tools for looking after the garden. So it's very small. And confiscated means to take away. So the belongings, the luggage was taken away by the official. And the only taxi on the island was the same person. So everything gets very complicated. So the person that's in the airport is the taxi driver also. Right, Annie, you need it bigger?
Yeah.
Come in.
Actually, I lost Nieves' voice because I was frozen.
Right, so here we go. We were dropped off.
Okay. We were dropped off in San Lorenzo's main street. Or should I say it's only street? San Lorenzo of one dusty street. Comprised of one dusty street, 6 sacks, 2 dogs, and an empty telephone box.
So they're very negative to everything they can see. So I'm looking, to be dropped off means that they got out of the taxi to be dropped off. And they were very disappointed because the street was not very nice. And shacks, how can we explain a shack? Alan, let's think. An old building, not well built, and it could be falling down. No, this could be a shack. S-H-A-C-K, shack. 2 dogs and an empty telephone box. So they've had no look at the moment and they're not very happy the way things are. Is that too small for you, Alan, or you need it bigger?
No, I can see that okay.
Right, off you go. From there on.
From there on, things went rapidly downhill. The Bay Hotel was half built, did not have running water or electricity, and was stopped by a pensioner and the taxi driver. Johnny Paraquet, who spent most of his time asleep in his bedroom.
Right, Alan, we'll stop there for a minute to explain some things. So they said things rapidly went downhill. So if we can imagine a hill is like this, and to go down to the hill, it means negative and things got worse, right? So to go downhill in this context means things just got quickly worse, downhill. Running water means that there's a tap if there's running water. They didn't have running water, right? So every time they go to do something, things are getting worse and they're going downhill. And the only person who works there, Johnny, is asleep most of the time in his bedroom. Right, Nieves, would you be so kind to continue?
Consider.
Right, come in.
The meals.
Yeah, I'm coming quicker. Okay. There we go.
Oh, no. The meals lovingly prepared by the chef, Johnny Paraguay, again, include such local specialties as coconuts, tinned peas, and coconut with tiny peas. Farmer Beach was a long stretch of gray sand, littered with rubbish. The hotel pool resembled an stagnant pond, and we were unable to swim in the sea because it was full of poisonous jellyfish and man-eating shark.
Right, Nieves, we're going to stop there because we need to break this up a bit, even though we're laughing. Right, so this Johnny does everything, right? The cook, the taxi driver, the attendant at the airport, and now he's the cook. And they were eating peas that came in a can, tin peas, coconut tin peas, or coconut with tin peas. So they're being sarcastic there, no? So everything was the same. And there was a stretch of grey sand, not golden sand, and it was littered with rubbish. So littered with rubbish means a lot of papers and rubbish. Stagnant pool, a stagnant pond. That means that the water is so dirty and it's not being moved, it's not being cleaned, and it just has like a film of dirt on the top. So they were unable to swim in the pool. And then to make life even worse, they had poisonous jellyfish and man-eating sharks. So there's nothing else I don't think that could go wrong. But we will listen to Anney and let's see. Recreational activities.
This one. Recreational activities included find the water, haggle with Johnny Paraguay for our passport, and on our third day, ran as fast as we could from San Lorenzo as Mount Machu, the supposedly extinct volcano erupted.
Right. So I'm just going to have a look at this where we recreation activities. Now they're being very sarcastic about everything. So recreational activities should be activities that you do in your free time to have a good time. But they're joking that to spend their free time, what they had to do was to find water. So it was like a hunt, no? And they had to haggle with Johnny for our passports. Haggle is try to come to an agreement for Johnny to give you your passports back. Can I have them now? No, you can have them later. And so they're having like a slight argument. That is what haggle is. Or if you were in a marketplace, to haggle would be to come to an agreement about the price. One would want it at 10 euros, one would want it at 5. So you would haggle to come to an agreement, right? And then they ran as fast as possible because the volcano was going to erupt. So as we can see, it was one problem after another.